the goaltending situation for the Toronto Maple Leafs as it stands, Martin Jones, Ilya Samsonov, and Joseph Woll. And you could make the case really for and against all three of these goaltenders, MJ. When Joseph Woll gets back, who should be the two goalies to share the net for Toronto?
All right, Rod, let's break this down by process of elimination. You said Joseph Woll is healthy. If Joseph Woll is healthy, he's one of the two guys. I think they see his upside. They see his very consistent level that he's been able to offer up this year. They like what he can do both now and into the future. He will be one of the two goalies. That's the easy one. The more difficult question becomes who's going to be the other goaltender. Is it going to be Samsonov, who's on this reclamation project, who's looked pretty good his last couple starts, but you just never know given how inconsistent he is. Or is it going to be Martin Jones, who's been fantastic for the Leafs this season, but it looks like his game has also dipped the last little while. If it's me, it's whoever's playing better is the obvious answer. But I do believe they're so committed to Samsonov and how good he could be. I think they know Martin Jones where his game is going to plateau at. But Samsonov was really good last year, Brian. And I think they're trying to get him to be something near that again. If Woll is consistent and you're comfortable with him, then I think you keep Samsonov around and keep trying to build him back up so you have the 1-2 punch you were planning on having all year long.
Yeah, I think that's the ideal answer for the Maple Leafs. That's what they envisioned in September was Joseph Woll and Ilya Samsonov. But I don't think we're living in that reality anymore, Rod. I think it is Joseph Woll when he returns, like Johnny said, based on his youth, his upside, and the way he played prior to getting injured. He is one of the two guys. For me, it's Martin Jones. I think actions speak louder than words. They've been trying to prop up Ilya Samsonov, yet he's been back with the team for a couple of weeks, and he's played 2 games. The second night of a back-to-back. That was based on necessity. And I think Martin Jones deserves some rest, right? They have driven him into the ground. It's been an incredible signing and a great story. He's done everything you could possibly ask out of him. He has hit a wall here. The statistics would indicate that. The eye test would indicate that. But I think, Johnny, you give him couple of games off, you get Joseph Woll back, you maybe transition into Jones being a tandem guy or more of a backup guy. I have more faith in that plan than I do Ilya Samsonov being a part of this moving forward.
My concern, Brian, is the recency of where Martin Jones' game is headed. There's a reason why he was in the minors, as great as he's been. I just worry about if he starts falling off, maybe Samsonov might be a better option, because when you look last 5 games for Martin Jones, they're trending in the wrong direction.
Well, who gets the net isn't the only issue Sheldon Keefe needs to get sorted out right now. What should be done with the captain, John Tavares? MJ, some have suggested move him to the wing. Others have said shuffle him down to the third line. What would you do?
Sure. I mean, if you have another second-line center available, you can put him on the third line and limit his minutes and give him a sheltered role. Who's the They don't have a third-line center now, let alone a second-line center. I don't think William Nylander wants or is in the spot right now to go play in the middle on the second line for a Stanley Cup contending team. I think what they need to do is exactly what they are doing. He's got to play on the second line, sheltered minutes, with good players, on the first power play. Trust that he will find his hands in front of the net, his legs over the All-Star break, and he will come back playing as well as he expects him to. What he needs is good line mates to help him. They have that guy in William Nylander. I think he's got to get his game back to its highest level at 5-on-5. I don't think there is another good option, Brian, for John Tavares in this lineup, because there are no other really good options to play center in the second or third line hole. If you move him out of there, I just don't love the options available. They got to stay the course with the guys they have now.
I agree with you. It's a process of elimination like you just did with the goaltending, Johnny. There isn't a better option on the second line than John Tavares. So I think they need to challenge him. They need to challenge him to continue to produce in the areas where he is still elite. That is in front of the net. That is on the draw. That's in tight areas. You got to win battles. And then I think you go to John Tavares and you say, listen, we need more out of you in other areas of the ice if you can bring it. If you're going to be on that second line, you better be elite in front of your own net. You better start winning battles. Maybe get a little bit more physical. I'd like to see him spice it up every once in a while. First one in a scrum, last one to leave a scrum. There are other ways where I think he can have an impact on this team. You're not going to get the 25-year-old John Tavares or the Tavares you had the first year he got to Toronto. That guy has probably left. But he still can bring more than I think Max Domi can, Pontus Holmberg can, David Kampf can. So Tavares is your guy. Challenge him to be better. And I think he's still got something left in the tank. Like you said, Johnny, a big part of that, William Nylander, he's got to get back to where he was earlier in the year.
And tough sked ahead for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Next couple of games back-to-back against the Winnipeg Jets Wednesday and Saturday. Brian Hayes, Mike Johnson, thank you both.